Just want to double check. Hate you too. Do I want do I mimosa, champagne and cocaine. Get me through.
Dope shit like that, Jerem. Oh, hi. Welcome back to kids. Follow your dreams. Yeah. Want to get a mansion, a jacuzzi, a theater to watch my movies, couple whips and lots of fancy things. The kids, they call it Goonie. I see the future, crystal ball, mirror, mirror hanging on the wall. Who the fly swipe boy of the mall? Got your girlfriend screening all the calls. She playing, we fucking and cuddling like baby. Where the fuck you been? I want to tell you she in love with him. So we ain't stand up till you could probably tell she bluffing cause she kissed you with the mouth. She gave me head with my concussion. Yeah, she blushing all red. Wanna rush and go to bed. You interrogate that bitch like you the fed. So she says she in love with a rock star. Wanna smoke my weed. So she asked me where the tops are. Top drawer. Yeah. Just a motherfucking kids. Yeah, Pittsburgh. Hey, John, hey, these hoes is drunk. Wanna come and smoke this blunt? Then let me take them home and do anything I want. I said, baby, I can ride ya. Just let me get inside ya. I can take you higher if you hit this vaporizer. I got that dope dick. I'll be a supplier. You grabbing my sheets and hitting notes like a Mariah. Upset to me, undress a freak on ecstasy. I'm out and then she texting me like, what you doing next week?
You know, down on knees and praying for my faith this week. Out you so please, baby, please give us a chance. Make amends and I will stand until the end. A million times, a trillion times.
Hey, I'm 24, y'all. I'm drunk as fuck. Most dope, bitch. Hey. Yeah. What's up? I'm high as fuck, yeah. Dirt. I graduated. Oh, yeah, I just graduated high school. Hey, homie. Don't be mad that your girl loves me. Anything yet. Not my fault. Yeah. I'm just doing me. If a girl love me, let her love me. You feel me? Baby, baby, don't cry. Oh, God. You are the sun.
Push a bit, little bit, roll it up, take a hit, feeling lit, feeling right. 2 a.m. summer night. I don't care, hand on the wheel, driving drunk, I'm doing my thing, rolling the mid beside and now, living my life, picking out dreams. People told me slow my road, I'm screaming out, fuck that, I'ma do just what I want, looking ahead, no turning back. If I fall, if I die, know I lived it to the fullest. If I fall, if I die, know I lived in missing bullets. Shining on the street. Shining on the street. Tell me what you know about dreaming, dreaming. You don't really know about nothing, nothing. Tell me what you know about the night terrors every night. 5 a.m. cold sweats waking up through the sky. Tell me what you know about dreams, dreams. Tell me what you know about night terrors, nothing. You don't really care about the trials of tomorrow. Rather lay awake in the bed full of sorrow. Shining on the street. Shining on the street. It's okay. Super happiness, everything is shining, always go. I'll be fine once I get it. I'll be good, good. Shining on the street. So, yes. I'll be good. Oh man. Oh. Room spin. Room spin. Back. Zuli. Wait. Oh my God. Drink so much, smoke so much. Oh, fuck.
I want to know who motherfucking representing it here tonight.
Uh, 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 uh. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Wake up, Mr. West, Mr. West, Mr. Fresh, Mr. By himself, he's so impressed. I mean, damn, did you even see the test? You got D's, motherfucker D's. Rosie Perez, and yes, barely passed. Any in every class, looking at every ass, cheated on every test. I guess this is my dissertation. Homie, this shit is basic. Welcome to graduation. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. On this day, we become legendary. Everything we dreamed of. I'm like the fly Malcolm X by any genes necessary. Detroit red cleaned up. From the streets to the league, from an eighth to a key. But you graduate when you make it up out of the streets. From the moments of pain, look how far we done came. Haters saying you changed, now you doing your thing. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, and look at the valedictorian, scared of the future while I hop in the DeLorean, scared to face the world, complacent career student. Some people graduate, but we still stupid. They tell you read this, eat this, don't look around, just peep this, preach this, teach us, Jesus. Okay, look up now, they done stole your streetness. After all of that, you receive this. Good morning. Hustlers, that's it, you still living, get on down. Every time that we hit them, good morning. Hustlers, that's it, you still living, get on down. Every time that we hit them, good morning. Hustlers, that's it, you still living, get on down. Every time that we hit them, good morning. Hustlers, that's it, you still living, get on down. 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 One, two, three, My baby don't mess around because she loves me so, and yes, I know for sure. One of them can't stand to see me walk out the door. The thought of the killing me from out there, but we get to together because we don't know. You got it, oh, you think you got it, but got it, just don't get it, because there's nothing at all. Oh, together. We're separate, something better. This feeling's gone. Then what makes when I'm happy here. Y'all don't want to hear me, you just want to dance. Germanic. It's not Germanic. I don't have it. Sugar, I am your neighbor. Shake it, 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 shake it like a shake it. Shake it, shake it. Now Beyonce's and saloons, shaking baby dolls, get on the floor, get on the floor. You know what to do. Shake it, shake it.
Do you remember when it starts tomorrow? Love is changing my life. While chasing clouds. I'm ringing in the key that singing as we dance with the night. Remember how the stars go tonight. Hold hand with your heart, sing. Only lose our love. Remember how we do love here to stay. Yeah. Yeah.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eye, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seemed impossible to face, when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seemed impossible to bear, and when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. I just want to look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely
Like,
So, yeah. Yeah.
Haters in the building.
Alright, already the show goes on and on and back till the morning. You dream so long, baby, but you ever wonder when they were six. I know it's the witch, my show was out. Alright, no, it's Have you ever had the feeling that you was being had? Don't that shit that make you mad? They treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through their teeth, hope you slip up off your path. I don't switch up, I just laugh, put my kicks up on their desk, unaffected by their threats. Then get busy on their ass. See, that's how that shut down made me. That's how my daddy raised me. That glycerin may not be gold, don't let nobody play me. If you are my homeboy, you never have to play me. Go on and put your hands up. Sometimes it's hard you stand up. Oh, you keep the man, cause a brand that the fans trust. So even if they ban, I still never slow my plans up. Yeah. One in the air for the people ain't here. Two in the air for the mother that's there. Three in the air for the kids in the ghetto. Four for the kids that don't want to be there. None for the niggas trying to hold them back. Five in the air for the teachers not scared to tell those kids that's living in the ghetto that the niggas holding back that the world is theirs. Yeah, yeah, the world is yours. I was once that little boy, terrified of the world. Now I'm on a world tour. I will give up everything, even start a world war for these ghetto girls and boys. I'm rapping around the world for Africa to New York, Haiti, then I need so. Oakland out to Oakland, got to strip to Detroit. Say hip hop only destroy. Tell them look at me, boy. I hope your son don't have a gun and never be a D-boy. So no matter what you've been through, no matter what you into, no matter what you see, when you look outside your window, brown grass or green grass, picket fence or barbed wire, never ever put them down. You just lift your arms higher, raise them till your arms tighter, let them know you here, that you struggling, surviving, that you gon' persevere. Yeah, ain't nobody leaving, nobody going home, even if they turn the lights out, the show is going on.
hey, special what's happening to all my soldiers over there in Iraq. Everybody right here. What you need to do is be thankful for the life you got, you know what I'm saying? Stop looking at what you ain't got. Start being thankful for what you do got. Let's get it to him, baby girl. Hey. That's right.
You said you're dressing up dead, but you said you're something. You got no something over the top, but it's like cause I'm a big bucket, so my life, my life.
Never mind what haters say, ignore them till they fade away. Amazing they are great, but after all the game I gave away, safe to say I paved the way, but you can't pay today. Still be wasting days away now had I never saved the day. Consider them my protege. How much I think they should pay? Instead of being gracious, they violate in a major way. I never been a hater, still I love them in a crazy way. Some say they so yeah, you know they couldn't work on Labor Day. It ain't that black and white. It has an area, the shaded gray. West side anyway. If I left today and stayed away. Don't move away to make a way. Not move away because they afraid. I brought back to the hood. And all you ever did was take away. I pray for patience, but they make me want to melt their face away. Like I once made them spray, now I can make them put the case. What been thugging all my life? They say I don't deserve to take a break. You'd rather see me catch a case and watch my future fade away. That's right. Okay.
I'm gonna go far. Everyone knows. Don't let it go. You said you're dressing up dead, but you said you're fucking. I'm a big bucket, so
To the moderate, immaculately polished with the spirit of a hustler and the swagger of a college kid. Allergic to the counterfeit, impartial to the politics, articulate, but still a grab a nigga by the collar quick. Whoever having problems with their record sales, just holler tip. If that don't work and all us fails, then turn around and follow tip. I got love for the game, but hey, I'm not in love with all of it. Could do without the fame. And rappers nowadays are comedy. The hooting and the hollering back and forth with the arguing. Where you from, who you know, what you making, what kind of car you in. Seems as though you lost sight of what's important when depositing them checks into your bank account and you up out of poverty. Your values is in disarray, prioritized horribly. Unhappy with the riches cause you're piss poor morally. Ignoring all prior advice and forewarning, and we mighty full of ourselves all of a sudden, aren't we? That's right. Okay.
I'm gonna go far. Everyone knows. So maybe a lot. You said you're dressing up dead, but you said you're fucking. You got no something on the inside, just play your fucking. No time to take that, just play your fucking. I'm a big bucket, so I'm just letting my. Got my mind on things and I'm not going away. So keep on getting your paper and keep on climbing. Look in the mirror and keep on shining. Till the game to the top spot. We gon' post up on the top spot. Living the life.
Knew my rent was later about a week ago. I work my ass off, but I still can't pay it though. But I got just enough to get up in this club and be a good time. Before my time is up, hey, let's get it now. Time of my life. Oh, baby, give me the time of my life. Yo, let's I have a good time rolling in that. To the bartender, land some sadness. I'm gonna get lost tonight. She's on fire. She's so hot. I'm no liar. She burned at the spot. Look like Mariah. I took another shot. Hold it. Drop it like it's hot. Dirty talk. Dirty dance. She a freaky girl. And I'm a freaky man. She on the rebound. Broke up with an ex. And I'm like Rodman, ready on deck. I told her I wanna ride. And she said, yes. We didn't go to church, but I'm blessed. I work my hands off, but I still can't pay it though. But I got just enough to get up in this club and be in good time. Before my time is up, hey, let's get it now. Time, yeah. Oh, baby. Time better get yours, I'm gonna get mine. Party every night, like my last. You know the drill. Shake that ass. Go ahead, baby.
Hi everyone. So we'll be starting in about 10 minutes. And until then, please help yourself to some drinks and to some food. We'll start in about 10 minutes, so 10:05.
About bills in the first of the month. It's my night, your night, it's our night. Let's turn it up. I know my rent was gonna be late about a week ago. I work my ass off, but I still can't pay it though. But I got just enough to get up in this club and me a good time. Before my time is up, hey, let's get it now. Time of my life. Yeah. Oh, baby. Time of my life. Let's get it now. Everybody gonna do something. Everybody gonna do something. Everybody gonna do something. Everybody gonna do. You might as well roll it up, drink it up, throw it up tonight. Oh, yeah. So everybody gonna do something. Everybody gonna do something. Everybody gonna do something. So you might as well roll it up, blow it up, drink it up, throw it up tonight. Oh, yeah, yeah. This for everybody going through tough times. Believe me, been there, done there. But every day above ground is a great day. Remember that. Oh, baby. Time. Let's get it now.
take me to town? Won't you take me to? Won't you take me to town? Won't you take me to? Won't you take me to town?
Into you. Won't you take me to? Won't you take me to?
When you I said no one take your place. Get hurt by the I can that smile behind your face. You know it's only just begun. Give me your love. I can't stand it. Oh, yeah.
Right, guys, we'll get started very shortly, about a minute or two. So if you can take a seat, please, and settled. All right, guys, I'll just give you another second or two to settle down. Okay, I think we're ready to go. A little bit more of a kerfuffle, so I'll just wait a second. All right, perfect. So, welcome everyone. It's great to see so many of you here. Okay, so let me first introduce myself. My name is Daria Tomilova, and it is my absolute pleasure to be your host for today's Behind the Code Meetup. Okay, so a word about the event. These events, this platform, this community, essentially, it's so important for all of us here, and I'm sure you'll agree. It doesn't just give us an opportunity to network with like-minded individuals, to share ideas, people who have the same values, same attitudes, same goals. But it also, of course, gives us an opportunity to share those innovative ideas and solutions, to showcase your work, showcase new developments, promote security awareness. But ultimately, it brings us to a place that we can all together as a community, that one step further of building towards a safer digital world, which I'm sure it's one of the goals, if not the goal, for majority, if not all of you here. One other quick word. Last time you guys asked, where are the girls at? Essentially, why are there no women up here? And you're in for a treat, because I'm happy to inform you that today there's not just one, but two of us up here. And this is just the beginning. Okay, so let me share a word about the agenda, so you know what to expect from today. In total, we're going to have about 4 lectures, ranging approximately 2 hours with a 10-minute break in the middle. Afterwards, we're gonna have about an hour's networking event where we can have some drinks, about the speeches, meet each other, meet the speakers. You can grill the speakers about anything you weren't comfortable to grill them, in the audience. And yeah, just get to each other. After each speech, you're going to have an opportunity to pick the speaker's brains in a Q&A. And we have some interesting prizes for the best questions asked to each speaker. Okay, so without further delay, let me introduce to you the first speaker. So our first speaker today is Roman Zhukov, who is a major fan of cybersecurity with over 12 years experience in this sphere. Of course, his vast experience and contributions can be seen across many different projects, technologies, and teachings, actually. But I will not reveal too much, because Roman will actually share a little bit more about himself in his own words with you. His presentation will focus on threat modeling, why it makes sense, and how you guys can get started, with a key emphasis on real-life examples that you can take away with you and actually start applying from today. So, without further ado, please welcome Roman to the stage. Big round of applause, guys.
Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and for those who on the bridge as well. My name is Roman, and tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the serious topic, software threat model, but it's for everybody actually, and we're going to have some fun. So please tune in and enjoy. A little bit about myself. I'm product security lead at Intel, responsible for security for our software products. From architecture standpoint, we are the SDL lifecycle and etc. Also, I have a experience in other roles like brought to market new services and etc. Secure large organizations. Also, I'm a trainer and those certified and etc. But a little bit what we call with the fancy words threat modelier. And today we are going to encourage everybody to become a little bit threat modelier following the cases that I will show to you. So let's start. We're going to have fun, as I briefly mentioned. We're going to understand why threat modeling. It's really a serious topic, but again, today, despite of its serious topic, it's not going to be boring, right? Because we all want to get fun, I think, at work, all or most of us. So then we are walk through the how to start, how to perform, explain a little bit. It's real world example, and of course references, free stuff, open source, whatever you will need will follow. Okay, let's practice a little bit. The first question is to you: what's talking about comics? What's better, DC or Marvel? I'm joking. No, we are not going to dive into this discussion like Windows or Linux. We're going to practice on this threat model that you can see. I think everybody should know those guys like Bruce Wayne or Batman, right? And the very first question we usually ask when we start threat model is what we are working on, bearing in mind assets and interactions and all this stuff. And for the first question, I'll help to answer. And if we're talking about Batman, we have, for example, these assets, right? This is a Batcave. This is Alfred, you know, he's probably the best friend's emails, text, SMS of Batman, and etc. But my question to you: what could possibly go wrong? Any ideas? What can go wrong here? Please speak up. Just fire. Okay. Anything else? What threats? Something can go wrong here. Nice try. Yes, please. Yes, exactly. And I think you're a huge fan of these comics, right? You should remember this series about when they really kidnapped Alfred, and Batman used to rescue him. Okay. Basically, there are a lot of threats could be there. Of course, you both are right. Just exemplifying and simplifying here, just the three of them, police, because he doesn't want to reveal himself, right? The Joker, journalist, and etc. The next question, when we realize assets as threats, what we're going to do about that? What kind of mitigations would you suggest here? How to defend these assets from these threats? Any ideas, just briefly? Please. Okay. Great suggestion. Basically, for this example, it's kind of a little bit, we are going to build up some protections, right? Secure systems, head locations, maybe encryption, right? So For example, encrypt communication between Batman and Alfred, for example. So those all the great mitigations for this example, but whether we did a great job here. This is a great question because you suggested that yet another mitigation that we could put here. So basically, this is the right question that we always should ask, right? After we think that we have built the great threat model, right? This is a fourth major question. Okay, what does that mean, threat model? This is a interesting question. I suppose through my career, I have seen a lot of threat models, good and bad, and they were like this, looking like this. Also, it could be like this, right? When you actually see the overcomplicated diagram, okay, it could look like this, representing the application that your engineers explaining how it works to security team, for example, right? This homepage, click to get an account, register, something like that. What's happening? I don't know. So it's kind of not really best threat model, right? Actually, I like this definition. Threat modeling is analyzing a visually simplified representation of a real system. That's crucial. That's a great definition because first you're going to build the diagram, the representation of a system, and then you're going to analyze this, right? And again, it's not necessarily should be boring. Moreover, it would be the collaboration activity. It would be the great engineering brainstorming rather than boring something that nobody understands. Okay, today we are going to understand how to start for engineers, for everybody, and what to do in order to make it more fun and more useful, and of course achieve the results. Our software could be insecure because of some reasons, and I suppose this question actually you can receive. I mean, security folks can receive from management, from other teams, why we're insecure, right? A couple of answers here you can see on the screen. CVs in third parties, we did code review and found something, right? We got all these hits, SAST, DAST, IAST, whatever we do against our code. It's customer inquiry and test, and etc. And after all these findings, we can usually say, okay, we have these findings, let's build up something, right? We just read the book and they said, okay, we need to make our password strong. That's a great suggestion probably, but does it answer the question why our software is insecure? Not necessarily, because what this example on the next slide clearly represents. If you just carefully take a look at this picture, you can see that in that case, the really long password really doesn't help you, right? To prevent from the threats. How many combinations of the log adversary needs to steal this bike? 0, exactly. So that's why we need threat modeling, because it answers to the question, what's wrong, what's really wrong with our system, and that helps us to build up the sufficient mitigations or do nothing, because previous example that I showed actually represents the real world scenario. For example, by some sort of regulation or best practices, we always have been told that we need to buy and set up antivirus or anti-malware solution, right, on the application, on the machine. But what if our application simply is run inside the container, which is possibly live 5 minutes or 15 minutes? So we don't need anti-malware here. It's overhead. And threat model actually can show you and can convince everybody else, even regulations, to say, okay, we're not going to implement this control there because it doesn't make sense, because our threat model shows us different. Okay, why threat modeling? First, for non-security. On the left-hand side, please pay attention to this first long list. I just shortened it to the 3, from my perspective, major points. This provides the reasons to implement security, actually, right? Because again, in my practice, I have been receiving a lot of questions every day from engineering team, from whoever, from VPs. Okay, what's the risk? What's the actual risk, right? Something like that. So threat model clearly say, okay, this is the breach, and this is what we're going to do with it. It helps to reduce or focus on controls, as I exemplified previously. And surprisingly, but not really, no unique skills needed to do this job, because it's really engineering brainstorming. It does not necessarily result of the education or whatever. It could be performed by everybody. No false positives turn into the benefits for security. Really, non-false positives, right? Because you clearly know that this is threat, this is mitigation, so this is clear to you, instead of assessing the risk of something like SEST kit, for example. So it should be triaged. Threat model, it's let's say your triage by design. It helps to prioritize mitigation for security team, right? As I mentioned previously, it's also a trade-off. It's always a trade-off between the set of security controls, right, and the business needs and whatever. So it's help to prioritize. And it actually shows assets and interactions and how actually system works. And this is the great example, because often the case I have been seeing that team comes to security and ask, okay, what should we do here? What controls we should implement, etc. But they can't explain what system does. They don't have a diagrams, and others outside team, they don't understand. It's really boring for engineering team, because they think, okay, we built the really breakthrough cutting edge technology and we totally know everything about that. But threat model, again, it's a great example of documenting the right things that could help you afterwards. How to start, right? Turning to the last part, to the actual steps. On the right-hand side on the slide, you can see the 4 questions I asked you earlier on. It's not my question; it's a question by Adam Shostak, who is probably the most famous threat modeler and evangelist of this process. But I added the 0 question, which is not in the Adam Shostak's list. First, you need to understand what's the subject and context of your projects. Again, I have been seeing so many times when we can't understand at the very beginning what we are looking for, right? It could be library, right, or application. It could be server. It could be the whole infrastructure. The whole infrastructure, the web service, or just the backends, right? It's so important to understand the scope of threat modeling in the very beginning, and then go through the questions. Let's practice a little bit more on the close to real world example. This is a let's pretend this is a travel application, right? It has like users, front ends, back ends, payments, operations, and so on and so forth. And what you see on the picture actually answers the question what we're working on. This is data flow diagram, or kind of this diagram. And I would suggest you to start with this data flow diagram. No templates, no just I don't know, predefined formats. Start from what you see. Just get your diagram. Just take your tools that you used to use and do it. Just draw. It's essential to put all the components, to define what's in scope, what's out of scope, to mark all trust boundaries, because we don't want to model kind of without any boundaries, right? Because we should eventually trust. to something, I don't know, to PC, to hard drive, to CPU, or to whatever. So we need to draw these boundaries, either keep them in mind and then threat model against these boundaries, breaking them down, or just simply trust them, right? This is really important. The second question, what can go wrong? And this is all about attack surface and problems considerations. Ask yourself what can go wrong in this example. They were just obvious problems, like on the front end, right, on the back end, but also when we're working with these payments or shop application or travel application, we also wanted to defend from those fraudsters who wanted to leverage the bonus system, right, to get the additional benefits without actual participation in this program or payment. So, and this example shows you the breakdown of one threat, of one, let's say, answer to the question, what can go wrong? What we're going to do about that, this is all about ideas how to fix the problems. Again, it does not necessarily need to be complete list of mitigations or whatever, but think a little bit. For example, for the password protection on front end, you're going to rate limiting on login, right, to prevent brute force, for example. Simplified example, but this is again all about modeling, all about understanding. And again, these pictures, this kind of example, you can draw in whatever you want. And I would encourage you to start with the whiteboard. Don't overcomplicate it on the very beginning. It is gonna kill your process on the start. If you just take, okay, this is 3 complicated automated or semi-automated tools to do threat modeling, you, an engineer, need to start with this, and you're from DevOps team going to put everything like as code to this to build this threat model. It's going to kill the overall process, especially if you're just investigating how to do threat model. Start with whiteboard. And the final question. Did we do a good job? Check your threat matrix and other views. This is kind of not really big text, but anyway, you can you need to check everything and answer the questions. And the most important I highlighted here on the left top, can we leverage mitigation by design? Again, so much times I see the replacement of mitigations by design by external controls. Like we don't leverage the hardening of operation system, for example, right? Instead of, I don't know, putting other external defenders. Are we able to test everything? This is really crucial. Threat modeling is not only about saying, okay, this is all wrong, this is all bad, I'm done, right? It's about validation. When you understand the threats and put the mitigations in place, you're going to document all the validations you need to perform in order to justify, okay, I am confident that I'm now defended from this particular threat with this validation. It could be the long list. And again, it should be documented, and it shouldn't be the pen test, for example. By validation, I mean the regular validation that you should perform in the development process, right? Okay, important don'ts. I think the last important point I wanted to bring up is about don'ts. Don't rely on a hero threat modeler. It would be better to shuffle persons because otherwise you could miss blind spots, right? And really, threat modeling is for everybody. And for my teams, for example, I encourage everybody to do threat modeling. It depends on the team, of course, but anyway, I try to shuffle them, and they enjoy and they learn. And I think that's a great exercise. Avoid conclusions like, yes, we have a problem. I mentioned that before, just this conclusion. It's not a conclusion of threat modeling. You should put a mitigation, right? And you should put verification. Verification is really crucial step. Again, I just wanted to know that you understand it, because I have seen more than 50 threat models, and a lot of them eventually didn't have the validation parts, unfortunately. And finally, don't be addicted by the small parts of the big picture. Everything you should, of course, you should define the scope, but see the full picture. Don't write in the, I don't know, conversations. Okay, how we're gonna to defend this only one PC, something like that. So please, please don't forget about the overall picture, about all the interactions that you find on the first, or rather zero step, like, okay, where threat modeling against the infrastructure or against the production implementation in the cloud. So everything in the scope. Call to action. So engineers, please raise the hands if you are not really security person. Do we have some non-security persons here? Okay, we have many actually. Thank you guys for listening to security. And call for action, actually, it's for you primarily. Put books aside, right? Of course, it's good to learn the books, to read the books, but for the first time, I would suggest you to put books aside. Take your architecture diagram. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid or ashamed. Like, okay, I have a bad diagram. What are you going to do with it? Take your existing diagram and start with that. Security team is here to help. If they can say, okay, you are missing the assets here, you are missing boundaries, we can always improve that. But take whatever you have. Explain how the system works. I know you all guys really addicted about what you are doing, what systems you are building. So explain that. Explain how it usually works, about the great technology inside, and that helps others to understand. And so this is great. And taste rapture, right? Because threat modeling is about solving the problems, solving the technical problems. And this is a great exercise. Finally, I'm almost done. Free tools, a lot of tools for threat modeling. I would again suggest to use whiteboard, but if you go further, you can use these tools. Again, there are a lot of tools, but there are on the slides that are free. And I tried almost everything. Again, it's kind of should be used case by case, for example. It's suitable for particular applications, but anyway, you can just try. They are not too bad, I would say, right? And useful resources as well. I just cut that list off to only 6 points, so that you can read this interesting stuff. This is a lot about threat modeling, including the book I mentioned by Adam Shostak, and etc. So I'm going to share the presentation with everybody so that you can click the link and read this first. And then, of course, you can dive into standards, so to the really heavy books and etc. But again, I would suggest you to start with this. And that's very much it I want to talk today. So thank you. Questions, I really appreciate it. Yes, sir. You was the first. Do we have the microphone? We have the second one.
I think you missed, first of all, thanks for a great talk. I think you missed one tool which we can start to do threat modeling. But I'll ask a question. If you would like to make a service for people to help them with threat modeling with ChatGPT, what prompt for it would you use?
That's a great question. Personally, I wouldn't use ChatGPT for threat modeling in particular. It could be a good tool for some security stuff, but for threat modeling, I think it's not good enough, actually. So talking about tools a little bit more, again, I intentionally avoided something like tools, because for the large enterprises, for the large architectures, for example, inside Intel, we have been building our own tool. This is kind of closed and used inside because they are not suitable for us, like what we have, because we need more connection to our internal system. We need more connection to our data lakes and etc. So, but anyway, we've been doing threat modeling at Intel, I don't know, for decades, I believe. And just recently we came up with some tool helping us to do that. Everything else are closed with like threat modeling process, whiteboarding. I mean, it's more complicated, but in the nutshell, yes. So that's, if you have a great example of really automated way to do that, we can discuss.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi, thank you very much for your speech. So after all, how to confirm that we find all major threats? Because if we forgot something huge, it could be, our work could be useless.
Yes, great question. Did we do a great job? This is the answering under this question, I would say. That's why threat modeling should be always collaborative activity. I saw a couple of times when threat modeling just performed by the one person, and it's well connected to the avoiding one threat model here or something like that. Because usually if you do it collectively, you brainstorming and you can just capture everything. So long story short, there are few ways how to confirm, right? How to confirm or almost confirm yourself that you did a great job. Again, encourage the different teammates from different teams. Ideally, it would be architects, developer, QA, DevOps, and people from different domains. And the second, you of course can use the catalogs, the threat catalogs, to help you to understand. And I didn't mention threat catalogs because it's kind of specific stuff. For example, for web applications, we have one set. For other applications, we have another set, but it should help you.
Thank you very much.
I think should be last question, or
two more.
Okay, we have time.
Hello, thank you very much for a speech. I have just a little more management question than technical. From your point of view, how do you think when in the project life cycle the threat modeling should be done? Because I can imagine two situations. You're working in Intel, which is a well-established, very large company with processes like project management, and it is included in the project life cycle by default. And on the other hand, I can imagine some sort of small to medium business which just needs to run as soon as possible because it's a race of rats, and if you don't start it tomorrow, someone will start it a day after tomorrow, and you will lose a lot of money. And if we're talking about threat modeling, I don't imagine quite well, for example, including threat modeling, risk assessments, and so on, in the process of project management in a small to medium company, because it takes time, takes resources, everyone is busy. And if you're making some sort of MVP, for example, yes, to raise funds, you don't have time for it. So in your point of view, for some sort of small and medium companies, how do you think, when should it be done? Thank you.
Yes, thank you for a question. One of my favorite questions. We need 4 hours more to answer this question. but I try to be short and concise. I would answer, of course, it's never too late. If you don't start it, please start it right now. That's why there is no really ideal point. And I would say even for us, for our products, it's vary based on of course, on the risk level of product, based on complexity. And again, I wouldn't suggest any specific point in your in your product life cycle, especially for the first time. I would suggest to detach this from the life cycle and start whatever you want. I don't know if you're in the middle of release and everybody's busy. Okay, skip this exercise. Let's leave it to the next sprints, to the planning stage. If you're at the planning stage and you, I don't know, don't have time right now, okay, start it, I don't know, later and leverage the results for the next release. I would suggest to start with this, and then you will see. From the tools perspective, there were some initiative which I believe is closed right now, what they call threat agile. So threat modeling for the rapid projects, for the this agile process and fast delivering. Personally, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not in my scope, but I don't know the great success stories when they leverage this full automation. From my perspective, again, you should dedicate a certain amount of time for the next quarter, right? It's fine. Start it in the next quarter, dedicate it then, regardless of your regular release cycle. Just dedicate the, I don't know, 10% of the overall resources for the sprints, and say, oh, okay, we dedicate it whatever whenever we will have a time. I think that would be the best suggestion for starting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for what covers such boring, Tim. Anyway, I have some questions from ChatGPT, so I will read. Sorry. Have you ever tried to automate the way of collection of some kind of the things that you shows in the beginning, like some insecurities? I mean, your exact experience. Do you have any?
Are you talking about assets, threats, or
I mean, the exact way of collection of kind of meta information you showed, like results from SaaS dust, whatever, and from CVEs and dependencies in this way. I mean, automate all these things that you shows to us like insecurities at the beginning of your speech.
Okay. Do I use it inside threat modeling or in general?
No. Have you any experience of automate the collection of these things?
I believe so.
Okay.
It's just a brief question.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And the next, you completely missed some sort of threat modeling frameworks like Strike, Pasta.
Yes.
Yeah. Why?
Because we need a little bit more, like 4 to 8 hour, like a full masterclass. That's usually. I intentionally didn't want to overcomplicate the speech. Just the basics, how to start, and then use Stride, for example, the great framework. I like it.
This is kind of holy wars topic, but anyways. The next, and you say that the first thing regarding DFD, just start doing and don't use any kind of templates or, I mean, some examples. According to my experience, any kind of developer team, the first thing they would ask you, show us some examples, give us some templates, and in that way. So my question is, do you have any exact reason to cut off this step?
Yes, because I would rather start again with whatever development team has as a diagram. The reason is I really want to include this threat modeling stuff to their regular job, to their regular thinking. And if I put up a lot of external stuff for them and say, okay, this is a great threat model, this is a great threat model, let's do in that way, we can miss the point. But of course, for the first iteration as a security team, I mean, security team here to help, right? Here to help, as I mentioned. So from my personal experience, it's better to work with whatever they have and together build up something instead of saying, okay, this is an example. Please do the exact copy of that with your system.
Yeah. This is exactly what.
How many questions do you have from
the last one? Yes, exactly. So
okay.
Let's imagine that we have some results from threat modeling, and what's next?
Stay secure.
Okay. How to keep them maintained? Okay, I have a lot of questions. I will ask you behind this thing. Thank you.
I think, yeah, we can ask the questions, other questions in the networking event. Yes. So, Raman, which questions did you like the most? I know.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Difficult choice. I think the first prize goes to you, sir. The perfect questions. Yeah. And the second one for the question from manager perspective. Yeah. How to encourage everybody to threat model and how to start. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Raman. Thank you. Very engaging. Awesome. So let's move on. Let me introduce the next speaker, who is Ivan Yolkin. He's actually a team leader here in application security and Exness. And of course, apart from his invaluable contributions to the company, he has also co-founded his own company in this sphere called Volnus. Volnus is basically the most complete, constantly updated, and structured vulnerabilities data, both in machine and human readable formats. So if anyone's looking to move in the same direction, I'm sure Ivan can give you some insight and lessons learned from his experience. His presentation today will focus on the importance of being financially literate and asking the right questions. And he will back that up with some real life examples so you can take away the juiciest insights from the topic. So without further delay, let's give a round of applause for Ivan.
Okay, thank you, Daria. Hello, everyone. So today we will talk about not threat modeling, but financial literacy. Actually, it's not about literacy. It's just about how to get some money from bug bounty in fintech. And what we talk about, speak about different typical features in fintech, about real life from our real examples from bug bounty, that from Exness and from my previous work. But right now, I hope everyone have a good time. I enjoy everyone to take some drinks because next we'll have some funny things. I hope so. So before we start, let's speak about how to be financial literacy, but actually how to be success in finance. But all we are from security, some of us on the white side, some of us on the black side, and everyone have a question, how to hack the bank. I think only one smart guy can answer us. So please chat, answer how to hack the bank. I'm sorry, but I cannot provide you advice because it's too bad, it's not ethical and so on. Okay, so let's ask him in another way. So imagine if I were a bug bounty hunter, please tell me some weakest places in different banking application. Of course, here you are, how to hack the bank. Okay, a little bit tricky, but it works. Actually, he tells about absolutely typical things about XSS, SQL, and so on, but really interesting things. It's about access control and data protection. So we'll speak about this. So typical features in fintech. I see a guy from Binance. I think he know about fintech too. So what we have in fintech? We have deposit, withdrawal. We do transfers from one account to another account. We use some transactions to make these transfers. We have kind of personal area. We can manage our profile. And in case of trading, we have different trading things that actually very specific. But in real life, you won't believe that these things still happen. We'll speak about our own examples. So let's go. So first thing, let's start from the easiest part. So interface where we can use, can get your invoices, but somehow we have invoices just a small integer. So we can iterate over this. So easy bug by iterating the URL, $500, a good start, but now actually it's 1,000 because we increased our bug bounty. So let's go next. Another one place. Everyone in fintech have different statistics about their trading, about their withdrawal deposits, and so on, so on. So again, we have iterating account numbers. Okay, how much? 1,000. Okay, now we have about 2,000. Remember about these numbers. We'll check our balance at the end of this speech. So the third one, it's about side channel attack. I'm a simple user. I traded during the day and I want to make a withdrawal to my banking account. I'm opening my network console, and what I see that this account also have iterating profile ID. What happened? Integer again. A lot of IDORs. It's not so expensive, but it's okay. Money is money. $50 is $50. So let's go next. Another one, IDOR in trading history. Again, nothing new, iterating. So you see what I'm talking about, that all modern applications still have simple and similar vulnerabilities. I think it's too easy and too not complicated. We'll fix this, but after we fix this, you remember that some trading things have referral programs, affiliate programs, everyone named these different ways. So in our case, they fixed the vulnerability, but the problem was that I was not able to access some guy from another country, from another account, and so on, but I was able to access to my own affiliates. Still not good. Okay, how much? Okay, 2,000. It's much better. Let's go next. What we'll see next. So from the simple IDOR that was found, really, you can find it without a burp. You can find it without any special security tools, just iterating some URLs. Very good. You just need curl. It's about 5,000 just in 5 minutes. So let's go next. It's example from my previous work. We had a problem with commissions. Everyone, if you know that all payment system getting the money from the commissions. So it's mean that every transaction you need to pay extra money. But what if I won't pay? Because one time I'm just looking into the request and see the source and destination of the my transfer. And if I switch them, commission go away. Okay, how much? 1,000. Good. So from the commission things, it's very common thing that I think was 10, 20 years ago that you was able to manipulate with different currency type, different precisions, all about commissions. So KYC, do you know what it is? Who know what this KYC? Okay, this? Okay. So KYC, it's about know your customer. Of course, all we are working in security, we need to know each other to provide him different access and different privileges. So in financial technologies, we also need this information to provide access to our trading platform. We need to verify this user, to verify his passport, to verify his phone number, and so on and so on. But what if after verification, I can change my information? It not looks like a KYC. It's K after C, I don't know. But in our case, it was not so expensive because I don't know what profit will be from the changing your name after the KYC, but still maybe from drops. Okay. So another case, it's much more interesting. Again, you need to pass KYC. What you need to do to pass this, you need just to look into your request. Inside the request, you can change account type from not verified to verified. Very good. So just changing one integer, you can access to your not verified account and to create a lot of trading accounts, spamming our system. Okay, how much? 1,000. Now it's much more because again, we increased our bounty size. So now it's 7,000. Why not? So after, I don't know how many, 7 minutes I spoke, we got about 20,000 bucks without knowing anything, without knowing how to hack Kubernetes, how to hack smart contracts, and so on and so on. So just it ranging over integers. Okay, go next. Alt API, very good example. So we have a phone verification form. Okay, what I need to do, I need to pass my phone number, send the request, but server answers, your phone doesn't match your country. Okay, I cannot do this. It's kind of trading things. But how to bypass this? Just use another form that was before the new one. So what we are doing now, we go into main form, requesting the phone number, verifying it from the old functionality, and going back. Wow, it verified. Okay, 100 bucks just because it didn't have a really good impact for black hats. But anyway, think about this if you're a bug bounty hunter or if you're a bug bounty owner. So total we have about 20,000. And now about trading specific. This vulnerability was reported in the start of 2022 when the volatility of the trading was really high. So we had a trading pair USD to ruble, and volatility was really different from 130 to 140. And what we've done, we just discontinued this forex pair, so you cannot trade this. But we forgot about one important thing, that inside your personal area account, you can convert your money from USD to ruble trading account. So you don't need to trade, but you just can convert it out of trading. So what we've done, we've paid 1,000 and 1,033, 37, because happy hacker, happy company. Every one of you, I think, know about this. So I think it's a really good evening because 20,000 bucks we have in our pocket. Not bad, just by manipulating some numbers. So why I'm talking about all this really simple stuff? This all because one day I've looked into our statistics in our bug bounty program. It's a really interesting thing. And I hope you will enjoy this insight. So let's see what we have there. We have information about how popular different vulnerabilities was during the last 5 years in our program. So actually, it doesn't look good. Let's see in better way. So this is a graph chart of percent of different bugs, types of bugs that was reported to our program. So if you look closer, you'll see that most popular thing, it's information disclosure. It's still working. It's mean that we don't need to know a lot of hacking things, a lot of hacking tools. We just need to look deeper into the application and look what another number we can iterate or can change from the one account to another account. If you look closer, this is a percent of bounties that we paid for valid vulnerabilities. So previously it was about reported vulnerabilities, and this about the valid and paid vulnerabilities. Still the same picture. So information disclosure, IDOR, and other privilege escalation and access controls is still popular. And this small numbers about how many we paid, actually, I think it already changed. But still, what I'm trying to say, you don't need to have really good hacking tools, hacking skills. You just need to know how this application works. It's really important in modern applications because a lot of frameworks, languages, and tools already, I could say, fix it and doesn't provide you ability to make a stupid mistake like SQL injection or something like this. But everyone still have IDORs and still have problems with access control, privilege escalations, and so on. But it's not the last. Let's increase our bounty. Everyone who is on site here on the stand, you see the small badges that you also can see here. So during this year, till the 31 of December, we'll have a special promo code which you can provide us during bug bounty. So you will get extra 137 bucks. As I told, and as previously a lot of people told, that 50 bucks is 50 bucks. So that's all. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Ivan. Okay, so question time.
Hello, thank you for your speech. Yeah. So when you're testing some services like fintech, we have a lot of pre-requirements. You should have an account, verified account, and a lot of data you should send to the service for KYC and things like that. Maybe you'd think about something to do it for to help backhunters to make their job easier, to some test accounts or something like that.
I think our risk management won't allow this, but we will think. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Ivan. Thank you for the speech. I have one tricky question. It's not about the exact vulnerability, but more about internal bug bounty process of report serving. Let's imagine the situation when the bug bounty hunters send you a report with, for example, the file uploading, just for this case. And is it possible that you research the real impact internally and maybe you see that the real impact is a remote arbitrary code execution. How will you judge the bug bounty hunter? For which vulnerability will you pay? This question.
Of course, it depends, really depends on the final impact, because in some cases, a remote code execution, we will pay just standard amount, but in some cases we can pay for just for cross-site scripting or IDOR, thousands and thousands of dollars. It really depends on final impact for business, of course.
Yeah, I mean, did you have such situations in your practice when you have a report, but you pay more because the real impact is higher than initially reported?
Yes, as I showed before, it was a case with IDOR where we paid extra. Let me see. Yes, I think. Oh. Yes, it was, for example, about this. It's about discontinuous forex par. So the bug hunter just wrote us that, guys, looks like you disabled this, but you didn't disable this in personal area. For him, it's okay. It's just a bug. Just we forgot to do something. But in case of Black Hat, it's a really good impact because he can trade a lot. He can exchange a lot and do this instantly. So we'll spend much more than 7,000.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, just a clarification here. The figures that you showed in your presentation, are they from a public bug bounty program or a private one?
Yes, in the spring of 2022, we switched our private program and actually it got a lot of impact. We received a lot of interesting report. We've got much more bounty hunters than we got in private mode. So all these reports, of course, from public, and all of them are disclosed, so you can look at them.
Wait. Sorry, can you just repeat?
Yeah. So 27K USD for the public bug bounty program since then.
27K, it's just for these vulnerabilities. From the total, it's about 100,000.
Right. Thank you very much.
Last one.
Just a quick question. How much effort and money you need to spend basically to start the public bug bounty program? It of course depends on the organization, but just your opinion as average for your experience.
Actually, if you look into the list of bug bounty programs on the HackerOne, you will see a lot of programs that provide you just a swag, not money. But a lot of bounty hunters still interested in this just to increase their reputation, for example. But about the money, you can start from $100, and again, for script kiddies and some novices, it will be okay.
And the last question.
Are you using different techniques as well when you're doing private bug bounty, like static code analysis or stuff like that only?
Could you please repeat?
When you're doing private internal bug bounty programs in the company, are you doing static code analysis as well, or you don't allow it?
I think it's two questions in one. First of all, about a private internal bug bounty program. You mean inside the company between the developers?
As far as I understood, you are a bug bounty hunter within the company or not? Like you have a team.
I'm the owner of bug bounty program.
Okay, so you have a team of security experts that are not developers that are checking.
Yes, we have a team of application security. So, of course, it's not kind of bug bounty, but we are working in kind of framework regarding the application security. So we are verifying our releases, trying to make gray box, white box testing, including static analysis, including dynamic analysis, and a lot things. So we can speak later about this if you're interested in it.
Perfect. Ivan, thank you very much for your very engaging presentation. Okay, so we're going to have about a 10-minute break. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, yes. Which question did you like the most?
And guy in classes.
Thank you, Ivan. Okay, so now we're going to have about a 10-minute break. Guys, so help yourself to some food, some drinks. And after this 10-minute break, we have some other super interesting speakers. So please stay with us.
I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Cocaine quarter piece, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I got hustle, though, ambition, flow inside my DNA. I was born like this, immaculate conception. Not transformed like this, perform like this, which yells you a new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate, then off your fucking head. This that put the kids to bed. This that I got realness. I just kill shit cause it's in my DNA. Got millions, I got riches building in my DNA. I got dark, I got evil that rot inside my DNA. I got off, I got trouble, some heart inside my DNA. I just win again, then win again like Wimbledon I serve. Yeah, that's him again, the sound the engine in is like a bird. You see fireworks and Corvette tires skirt the boulevard. I know how you work, I know just who you are. See, use a picture, almost probably switch inside your DNA. Problem is, all that sucker shit inside your DNA. Daddy probably snitch, heritage inside your DNA. Backbone don't exist. Burn on side a jellyfish I cage. Be my pedigree, most definitely don't tolerate the front. Shit I been through probably offend you. This is Paula's oldest son. I know murder, conviction, burners, boosters, burglars, ballers, dead, redemption, scholars, fathers, dead with kids, and I wish I was fed. Forgiveness, yeah. Soldiers DNA, born inside the beast. My expertise checked out in second grade. When I was 9, on sale hotel, we didn't have nowhere to stay. At 29, I've done so well, hit cartwheel in my estate. And I'm gonna shine like I'm supposed to, antisocial extrovert. And excellent in the extrovert. And absentness, what the fuck you heard? And that's the twist that struck my nerve. And that's a rip from the Peter's case. The reason my power was here. Salute the truth from the prophets say. I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Got royalty inside my DNA. This is my heritage, all I'm inheriting. Money and power, the maker emeritus. Tell me something. You motherfuckers can't tell me nothing. I'd rather die than to listen to you. My DNA not for imitation. My DNA an abomination. This how it is when you in the matrix. Got your bullets, reaping what you're sowing. Stacking up the footage, living on the go and sleeping in the foot of sickness from a time he's walking in the building. Diamond in the ceiling, marble on the floor. Beaches out the window, peeking out the window. Baby in the pool, God, private clothes. Only Lord knows I've been going hammer, dashing paparazzi. Freaking through the cameras, eat it $4. Box wearing stand on shoulder on the Monday. Stretching to the fan, watching all the snakes, curving all the fakes. Phone never own. I don't conversate, I don't compromise. I just penetrate. Sex, money, murder. These are the breaks. These are the times. Level number 9. Look up in the sky. Tennis on the way. Tennis on the way. Tennis on the way. All I do is no matter what. And every time I step up in the building, everybody go up. And they stay there. And they stay there. And they stay
Ludacris going in on the verse because I just been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it in my folk lock down. I never went nowhere. Know what they say in Luda's back. Blame it on that contour. The hood call it Luda Yak. And I'm on this foolish track. So I spit my foolish flow. My hands go up and down like strippers' booties go. My verses still be serving like a million birds. Since last time on a college remix, now I'm on the original version. Can't never count me out. Y'all better count me in. Got 20 bank accounts. Accountants count me in. Make millions every year. The South champion. Cause all I do, all I do is no matter what. And every time I step up in the building, everybody go up. And they stay there. And they stay there. And they stay there. Cause all I do is win. Swerving in my logo, head on the swivel, you know, serving me the no-no. Clean as a whistle as I pull out in my Rolls Royce. Yellow bone passenger, they see it, they say, oh boy. Chef Kelly, back it up, my niggas call me loco. Down for armed trafficking, don't make me pull that fofo. Ask you what you laughing at, represent that mud light. Dirty money, bitch, you better get your mud right. We come together, holding hands and holler Bud Light. We all strapping all black, it's like Bud Light. You riding the what? We riding the night. You riding with me cause you wasn't riding no right. No matter what. Every time I step up in the building, everybody go up. And they stay there. And they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Eat in the kitchen, hot on the stove, water getting boiled. Dope being slow, Snoopy in the OD, system overload. I've been running this rap game since I was 20 years old. I hung with the worst of them, bust till I burst them up, floss them up, toss them up, harder ones, close them up. Pardon me, I'm bossing up, break you up, bless you, bro, don't mess with us. We like the youth in the 80s, back to back, better track, hit the lick. Get it back, get the trick, jump the track, bitch, I want my money back. Time again, while I'm sipping on this gin. Al Davis said it best, just win, baby, win.
No matter what. Everybody go up. And they stay there. And they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
What I want, you got that mighty hard to handle, like a flame. Okay. Of course, scared. You put them all again. On a night and the mountains stand away and wrap yourself around the found and
Okay, when you guys are ready, let's get back to it. So we'll be starting in about 1 or 2 minutes. So please take a seat.
I think it's time to get your places. We will start in a couple of minutes. I'm pretty sure that food and drinks will stay here and you can get it as soon as our slides will finish. So please welcome.
Huh? А. Вот сюда, да?
Да.
All right, guys, we're going to get started now and introduce the next speaker. Okay, so the next speaker will be Theognesia Hajiyanni. She's an information security professional and penetration tester. Theognesia takes on challenges and finds constant opportunities to promote security awareness and make a meaningful impact in the developing industries of crypto and security. She doesn't just do this in her occupation, guys. She does this also in her spare time. For example, she reads encrypted messages for fun. Pretty cool, right? And also provides advice and services, of course, security advice and services to startups. Theognesia today will talk to us about, she will share insights with us about blockchain forensic investigations and how it can help you. So please give a big round of applause for Theognesia.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Theo. I'm here to speak to you about blockchain. And since we're speaking about blockchain, we'll also speak about crypto. And since we're speaking about crypto, I'll start by saying that I'm no financial advisor. So if you have any questions about what I think about the market right now, I'd rather you come find me later. I'm here to speak on the code side of things. And also I'm here to speak about Ponzi schemes specifically. I'm not here to argue about investments. And with that out of the way, let's start. We'll speak about blockchain. So what is blockchain? Essentially, there is a huge controversy around crypto. I assume that you have all heard about Doc 1 and the collapse of Terra. For those unfamiliar, Luna Terra was the issuer of the UST stablecoin. And stablecoins essentially allow you to buy other crypto from exchanges. They are the middlemen for most crypto transactions. Because of a minor issue with the UST stablecoin not being so stable, Luna's investors lost their life savings, going from a $40 billion market cap to a $500 million market cap within a day. Within the industry, there are people that think of all DeFi projects as a scam. There are other people that are sole believers of Bitcoin. And in general, there is a huge controversy going around. Now, what is blockchain? Blockchain is a decentralized distributed ledger. It uses cryptography to secure transactions and eliminate the need for intermediaries, meaning it's difficult to alter or hack. Now on to encrypted messages. So over the years, people have encrypted a lot of messages on the blocks of different projects. Those vary from music to memes to even child pornography and other things that people want to put on there. However, now I'll demonstrate one of my favorite ones, and that's on the Genesis block. It's actually from Satoshi, and if you go onto the blockchain explorer and you put on there 0, you can actually find the first block, and you can see the message on the top. He said that he's the chancellor on the brink of the second bailout of banks. And you can see the blocks after the Genesis block on the explorer. You can find the hash. You can also see the wallet associated with it, and you can find all the information that you need for the block. What are blockchain investigations? Blockchain investigations refer to the process of analyzing data on a blockchain network to identify and track transaction addresses and users. Yes, they have been used in a variety of contexts, and they are not religiously related. However, most of them are. There are applications of this technology in other industries as well. Well, one of them is identity verification systems. If you actually look that up, you can see how the WEF is pushing for it and how it's coming really soon. Now on to the Web 2 versus Web 3. When Web 2 came out, it was the internet boom, essentially. In early 2000s, it actually took about 10 years for the technology to be adopted. And it's what we see with Web 3 today. It's still in its early stages, but it has a huge potential in my eyes. And it has a lot of benefits. And the ones I'll give to you today are decentralization, which ensures the security of
Okay, just try it now. Oh, yeah. Guys, please turn off your snitches. This device.
Yes. So the benefits to Web3 now, decentralization, the security of users, and back to ownership. You can now prove that you are the owner of an asset or a coin or anything that you have in your digital wallet. Efficiency, it means that transactions take seconds. You don't need a bank to authorize those transactions. It's auditable, sometimes censorship resistant, and it's owned by users, not companies, as of ARK's Invest's 2023 report. And also, there are a lot more to this I could give, but the last benefit I'll leave you with is that you can always trust the blockchain when you cannot always trust the intermediaries needed for Web 2. And yeah. The smart contracts and white papers now. This is the Bitcoin's smart white papers, sorry. White papers are essentially the business plan of a Web3 project. The link up there you can use and to find all the projects that you are actually looking for. And you can find any business plan for any Web3 project you want. And the reason I'm demonstrating Bitcoin specifically over here is because it's the best one out there. The best one I've seen. It describes the technology perfectly, and it's how every white paper should be. I will show you essentially all the tokenomics, all the technology users, word by word. It's perfect to me. And smart contracts. Before you go look up this project, if you if you will or whatever, it's dead. I actually made it last year. It's called Moneypox. The reason for it was because our business plan was that if monkeypox becomes a pandemic, essentially the project will pump. And obviously that never happened, so we pulled out. On the left, you can see the code of the smart contract. Now, if you scroll down, you can actually find the tokenomics on. You can see that the name of it is Moneypox. You can see the symbol for it, that it's Mpox. You can see the total supply. And that's also how a smart contract should be. Not all of the details might be on there. So, for example, if you're looking for the rewards of that project or things like that, you can go into the website. If you can't find it on the website, it should be on the white paper. If it's not on the white paper, it should be on the smart contract. And if it's not on the smart contract, then it's a Ponzi scheme. Exchanges and KYC. Ivan mentioned KYC earlier, but I'm going into KYC because when you go onto an exchange and you make an account, you are asked for credentials, and those credentials are useful to the exchange because they can identify you. They can provide essentially the exchange with who owns this specific digital wallet, like who are we looking for, who are we able to find through KYC. Also, I wanted to mention KYT is know your transaction. And these are useful to investigators because someone can go onto an exchange and essentially make if they want to make an investigation, if it's a governmental organization, they can get a warrant and they can go to an exchange and they can say, give me the credentials of this user of this specific wallet. And that's how they trace most transactions. Tools, and there are a lot of tools that you can use to carry out these investigations, mainly blockchain explorers and other tools. The explorer, you can see on the right, yes, or to your left, yes, whatever. It's BSC scan is also an explorer. The one on the other side is actually breadcrumbs. This tool is helpful to actually visualize the transactions where they go to from a wallet. That's also Satoshi's wallet. The one linked to the Genesis block we saw earlier. And these are the different tool types we have here. There are a lot of tools associated with it, but I think that these are the two most helpful ones, at least the ones I use. And chain analysis is a blockchain analysis tool. This video, you can actually go on YouTube and watch it. It's really informative, and chain analysis is a really good company in terms of they provide these investigations themselves. If you're gonna do an internal investigation for your own company, they can provide it for you. They released a report earlier this year saying talking about all of their investigations. And the Ponzi schemes and the scams, anyway, that's known from 2022. Now on to case studies. These investigations were actually carried out by the government. The two of them I want to mention are the Welcome to Video, which was a darknet child exploitation site. They traced them through their wallets again. And Alpha Bay, that was a darknet marketplace investigation, not just through their wallets, but the main investigation, the way they actually caught them was through, again, going to an exchange and asking for their credentials. And finally, on wallet tracing, we spoke a lot about wallets, but what are they actually, can they hold into? Let's say that you are looking for a scammer, for example, and this person has a lot of assets into their wallet. Well, how can we see those assets? We'll go on to OpenSea, or we'll see, are they into NFTs? Are they into crypto casinos? What do they do? We can go on to OpenSea, we'll put their wallet on there, and we can see all the domains that they hold, how expensive is their wallet, all the NFTs, maybe one of the NFTs on there is actually theirs. And this is a demo for how we can see that Satoshi, even though he was suspected to be dead, is actually still mining. And he has been for a while anyway. When I actually made this demo, he had he had a transaction made. He mined on Bitcoin not too long ago. That's from 10th of this month. So he actually exists and he's actually out there. It's still doing his thing, or they are doing their thing. The last thing I want to say is that anyone nowadays can carry these investigations themselves. You are all techie people. You can understand that you can also do this thing. If you want to invest in a project, you can go on to the Explorer, you can go find the project that you want, and you can actually look up things that will help you identify if the project is a scam or not. A lot of people are doing this nowadays. It's not just governmental organizations anymore. It's actually people out there, like maybe you're familiar with ZagXBT or CoffeeZilla. These people do exactly the same thing. Maybe they go deeper, but this is the thing they do. And since anyone can do this today, you can also, since the blockchain never lies, you can see everything on chain. And thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Douglas. Do we have any questions?
Question. It works. There you go. Question in regards to transaction tracing. Are you aware of any companies such as Trainalysis or any tool that's actually able to trace the transaction through, say, a Tumblr service as well? So basically, is that then making Tumblr services irrelevant in today's technologies?
Oh, I didn't want to mention any of my personal investigations. However, we had a person that we actually traced through Discord. He had a wallet that he shared with someone, and this person was a scammer. We traced him through basically finding his fake accounts on Discord, the wallets that he shared, and traced him through those, if that's what you said. Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions?
So you mentioned about the Alpha Bay investigation. That was like, did they use blockchain investigations to get to them? Because
yes.
So if they use the Monero, how do they actually go into this kind of stuff?
Even Monero is traceable. Actually, we can discuss this later because it's a huge subject. I really wanted to include it, but it's really big. It has to do with the layers of the technology. And yeah.
We'll talk later. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Just give me a second.
Hello, thank you for your speech. You have mentioned about some tools, you use it, but I would like to ask you, what about BitQuery? Do you use it? It's maybe top 10 tool for investigation. It's use GraphQL language. It helped me to investigate some microtransaction in the early of November last year in Binance Smart Chain blockchain. They mimic some first and last digit of account and wait to users send him his money. You use this utility?
No, I haven't heard of it actually. Thank you for informing me. How did you say it was?
BitQuery, bitquery.com.
Okay, I'll have a look.
Yes, there's a lot of blockchain inside to investigate, to analysis, and use GraphQL language from Facebook. Very useful.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for your speech. Just a strange question. A lot of people already told that actually using blockchain is not a private thing. Much privater is to use cash, to use transactions in some payment system, but not in blockchain. Really, this bad guy is so stupid. And question, did you ever had really cases without details that you wasn't able to determine using these forensic things?
Well, yes, actually, and I think no, I don't think they are stupid because I do blockchain every day. I really trust the technology, but government can get into everything, and so I believe that they're trying to get into this eventually as well. And yeah, I don't think they're stupid. I think they're like me. They really trust the blockchain.
Okay, thank you.
Did that answer your question?
I just mean that it's not about who is stupid, just about that it's not about the privacy. It's about the stability, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, it's mean that forensic can get everything about this blockchain, about all transactions, including all these mixers. As I understand, they still can be investigated.
There are layer 0 essentially blockchains which are harder. For example, like we have the OSI layers into networking. We also have layers in blockchain. If you go on to the lowest layer, it's harder, but it's still traceable. It's much harder though. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Theognosia, thank you very much for the presentation. You really light up my heart when you said that Satoshi is still around. Even though it could just have been somebody who wanted to maybe tip Satoshi, so maybe he mined a block giving the reward to Satoshi.
It's still happening, actually. The first time I noticed this was in January. And when I actually made this demo earlier this month, it was still going on. Like he's still mining. Now, someone mentioned a few days ago when I was talking to him about this, that the wallet has been inactive for like a few years. At the same time, it's all conspiracy theories, but I really think that he's still around.
Yeah. So the question that I want to make has to do with what is happening when you get through tools like chain analysis that a wallet is associated, for example, with Tornado Cash, even though somebody just send them an amount of money in order to just blacklist them. So yeah, what is your approach in your analysis?
Actually, again, I'm trying not to mention my investigations. Well, we can discuss this later. If
Thanks.
You want.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this. Hey, great. So it's now time to pick up your favorite questions.
A Monero question and yeah, the Satoshi, the last one.
Over there?
Yeah.
Perfect. That one? No. Thank you so much, Dale. Thank you. Okay, great. So last, but definitely not least, we have Anatoly Makowiecki, who is a professional in full stack information and cybersecurity. His focus is, of course, on building a strong defense in systems and applications, but it doesn't just stop there. He is continuously improving his approach to make security more and more beneficial for businesses who wish to grow and optimize their operational power in the digital sphere. And leading with that, in his presentation and through the use of examples, he will share insights into why it's crucial to set goals in application security, how doing so can elevate the security of your products, and of course, as a byproduct of that, reduce your company risks. So give one final round of applause for our last speaker, Anatoly Makowiecki.
Hi there. Oh, yeah, thank you. So let's talk a bit about the business side of application security, about the goal setting. I think that's quite important, but it wouldn't be so complex, technical as the previous speeches. So we'll start talking about the goal setting itself, about the planning processes, why it's so important, why we do it in general. Then we'll touch common issues in that area, and we'll discuss the things we can do better in this process. So about goal settings. Why generally the companies set their goals, do planning activities? Because they need a manageable development process. They need to have predictability, visibility of the business of the activities. So that helps the company to move in the same direction and to get the targets. And at the same time, in the companies, there are different participants. Let's call them participants. First of all, there is business, which is interested in generating bigger revenue, to scale the business, to grow in different areas, to get different markets. Then there are different teams in the business, and non-functional teams like application security, like cybersecurity, DevOps, SRE, and many other teams, compliance. They all are interested in being impactful for the business, in making others following their non-functional requirements, and in general in the purity of approaches, because everyone wants others to make the things in the right way. And as the final piece of this whole picture, there are people working in the company to get income, to develop themselves, to have some self-fulfillment, and just to have a reliable workplace. So that's like a well-known story about a swan, a lobster, and a fish, which try to pull a wagon, but it was impossible because they moved to different directions. They had different interests. So let's take a look at how the business set the goals and manage all the activities related to the goals. In general, goals of the business are quite clear and directly connected to their areas of interest. So usually they want some specific things related to the growth of the business, to the revenue generation, like, for example, increase net revenue by 15% in some period of time, or reduce operational cost by some percentage. So these goals are usually across different internal projects, like optimization project, like improvement of work with suppliers, and such business projects usually cause IT projects. So we need to implement a new system which will optimize the process, or we need to make kind of refactoring in some, let's say, onboarding flow of the customers. So then the IT projects are contributed. They are continuously connected to business projects. So there are people who track the changes, track the results of the IT projects, and that's quite a good approach. So let's see what common issues we have in the goal setting. Then we are talking about IT teams, and especially about non-feature development IT teams. So what goals usually we set if we are doing application security? For example, to launch a bug bounty. Yeah, that's a great thing. We will get more vulnerabilities. We will get more relevant findings which can be exploitable outside the company. Or, for example, implement some best practices from the application security industry. That's also a good thing because we will have a more pure approach of how they do the things. And there are many other cool things, like, for example, implementing this cool new platform which everyone uses, because we just want to develop our own knowledge, and that's interesting to touch new toys. So these things are usually cause also IT projects. We want some other teams to follow our non-functional requirements, like we implement an industry framework, and we ask other people to, I don't know, to do risk assessments, or to do some other stuff, to implement some security controls to the CI/CD processes. And finally, we work with IT teams, with software development teams. And that's an isolated ecosystem of application security projects. That's technically not incorrect, but they are absolutely disconnected from the business. We don't care about what really is beneficial to a business at that moment. So it has its cost. That leads us to excessive friction and overcomplication of application security processes. We have communication gaps because we don't understand the business which pays us money, and the business don't understand us. So we have a limited resourcing due to that, and finally we have a lower quality of our work because we are just thinking about our own stuff, which is not quite clear to the rest of the company. And why does it happen? So if we see on that diagram, here you can see a huge circle of business departments, a bigger one of IT department and security department. And if we take a look, there are feature development teams which are usually connected to business departments. Like marketing has its goals, and we have software developers developing new features who work closely with marketing, with sales, with customer support, with people from the business. At the same time, we have application security team, which doesn't work with business departments. We don't care about what we need. We don't understand that business stuff, but we know the technology. We know how to manage vulnerabilities. We know how to reduce their risk of the risk level of the product. So we work closely with IT teams, and we have kind of a disconnection. So business departments work with feature engineering teams. They have project managers from the business. They have business analysts. They have product managers who help to move into the right business direction. But then we are talking about application security team. We work with feature development, IT team, with software engineers, and there are no business people in the middle. We have just engineers, and in the best scenario, we have technical project managers. So what we can do better here? And I have an answer. So let's take a look at yet another diagram of how the product development looks like. We have different layers here, and we have software engineers, we have quality assurance engineers, we have different business people, data management people, we have project office, we have application security people, and what? Oh yeah, okay, it works. What makes the product an IT product? We have some business logic automated by code. So we have code inside. Software engineers make code. And the rest of activities are aimed to make this code reliable, relevant, and secure. So we can have an IT product which is just low quality with poor design and deployed to a non-reliable environment. But the IT product will still exist. It will increase the risk level of the company, but still there will be a product which can generate revenue for the company. But if we prepare absolutely amazing environment with all non-functional requirements fulfilled, we will still have just an environment without business logic inside of it. So the code is the central part of IT products, and being parts of non-feature development teams, we have to keep it in mind. So let's talk about the development-centric application security approach. So what we can do to improve this integration of application security function to the software development function. First of all, we need to avoid slowing down the development. So our main idea is to speed up it. So if we are doing any application security ceremonies, they must be clear and relevant to what we need to achieve. So also our non-functional requirements have to be quite clear and reasonable. We can do a lot of different stuff due to the reason that just other people do it, and that's just a best practice, but it can be absolutely useless for the company. So application security activities must be manageable and relevant to the maturity level of the company and to the processes we have outside of security. So insecure products can lead to different threats, but still, if we don't have a product, there will be no revenue. So what approach I propose here? It's quite simple. There are 4 stages, and the first thing is to understand why we are doing something, why we are setting this goal, why it is important for us. So first of all, we are answering the question, why are we doing it? The next question we need to answer, how will it solve an issue we have? Because we can just set goals because they're quite cool, but it will solve nothing. And the last one here, what is the expected result? We need to understand what we are expecting to get from the goal. So then we have this understanding of the expected result, and we understand that, yeah, that's a reasonable thing. We need to think about the business impact. So we usually like doing different risk assessments of the product's business impact assessments, but usually we want it from software development teams. We need to understand what does it do, what are risks associated to process changes, to changes but still we need to do it for ourselves. We need to measure the goals we are setting for other teams, for ourselves, just to understand how impactful to business they are. The next one stage, we need to understand how much resources do we need to spend, and others need to spend to make that activity, and also to understand all the dependencies we have. And then we are ready with all the previous questions, when we have all the required input. Finally, we need to understand what is the impact to engineering team from this project, from this activity, from that goal, and what are the risks. So we can have a just beautiful idea of doing something quite beneficial, but there are quite high risk associated to that activity, and we can't manage it at all. So in that case, maybe we are not so mature to do this stuff, and we need to wait. So let's take a look at an example. Here we can see just the simple representation of information we usually want from the product teams. Then we want to do some kind of security assessment. So we starting with IT projects, like you have here a couple of examples. First one is new registration and authentication service for customers. And the second one is a new product MVP. Wow, that's a critical change. We are launching a new product, so it will have a lot of integrations. And we need to do a lot of application security stuff. We need to implement a lot of controls. We need to measure the risk. And so we always ask for some technical details, technical stack, how exactly from technical side the new product or the change looks like. So we have some information here, like programming languages, environment where it runs. Also, we are quite interested in the dependencies, integrations, components, and we need to know what are the connections inside the products, what changes, what do the changes touch in the existing ecosystem. And so we are interested in data flow, information about the maybe privacy impact or something like that. How do you think? Is it enough to make decisions about what amount of resources we need to spend on each of the products? To be honest, this is not enough. So here you can see an additional context which the business has. And first of all, as business goes from the business goals, there are a couple of business goals associated to these IT projects. First one, increase conversion rate by 15%. For that purpose, we improve our onboarding customer journey, and we are doing it for the whole company, for all existing customers. And these cause the change of the registration and authentication flow. The second one, we want to diversify revenue of the company. So for that reason, we are launching a new product which will generate additional revenue. And the audience for this MVP is just 100 customers. And so in that case, we have two changes which have absolutely different impact on the business, different audience. In one of the cases, it touches all the customer audience of the company. And in another case, there's just 100 of customers. Sorry. As the second project is MVP, highly likely that project will be fully rewritten after checking the hypothesis. So having these insights about the business, the reason for doing these IT projects, we can just put the right resources to each of the projects. And I think that makes us more empowered to make right decisions. So that's pretty it. And the main idea here, I just want to highlight that then we are doing something and we are not so close to a business. We need to improve our context, which we have. We need to understand the business first, because all we do, we are working in companies. Companies are getting revenue. They pay us our salaries, and we need to understand what is really important for the company. And so usually we just do not doing it. So that's it. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you for the speech. You know, when I was listening to you right now, it reminded me just a few months ago, I had a 27001 certification, recertification, exactly. Frankly speaking, so it was not the first one. And, you know, if you approach application security from the points of 27001, not like a point, yes, but in whole, just make it not information security management system, but application security management system. It will cover all the questions that you have discussed today, that you have broadened. Business impact analysis, for example, yes. Requirements from business, management involvement, trying to understand everyone, yes. Questions of revenue before starting some IT stuff, digging deeper into your Linuxes and so on. And I have a question in such case. I want to ask, how do you think, well, the application security team leader, for example, yes, who should be his boss? Should it be someone from business? Should it be from, for example, I don't know, CTO or something like that? Should application security as a part of information security deal in a organization chart below IT, below CTO, or it should be, for example, on one level, on a C level, maybe? Why not? How do you think? Thank you.
So it usually depends on the scale of the company, but for mid-sized businesses, I prefer the way of having two different reporting lines. First one is functional reporting line, and the second one is how to call it, just an organizational reporting line. So then we are talking about functional one. We can put application security team under the security team, because functionally they need to follow security best practices. But to have a better connection to the software development, I prefer to put organizationally under the development team, under the CTO. So in that case, we will have two different lines. One just pointing the right direction in the specific functional area, and the second one just integrating the team to internal processes, to the planning activities, to various daily stuff which we have. That's one of the approaches, and it really differs on the company. But such just mixing the reporting lines for small and medium-sized businesses usually helps to keep everyone connected.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
We need more.
Well, considering there is two bags, there are two bags. I will just ask Anatoly Makovitsky, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. So finally, we have two good questions. My lovely one is about how I'm doing. And the second one is about the reporting lines. Thank you.
Anatoly, thank you so much for that. Okay, and that's a wrap up, guys. I'd like to thank the audience for your engagement, for your patience, for listening, and of course for being here. You know, the whole point of creating this community is that you guys can be here. Of course, I'd like to thank Exness and the team behind organizing this event. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. And I'd also like to invite the speakers up on stage one last time. Come. Speakers, I'm waiting for you. Thank you guys so much. Go. Awesome. Can we have a big round of applause? Woo! Great. So, we'll get the pictures done first, right? Always important. Right, guys. So we'll also have a feedback. We also have a QR there. Please do scan it and give us some feedback. It will give you an opportunity to recommend some other topics that you'd like to see for some next events. Of course, please help yourselves to some drinks and food. And let's network and see you at the next event. Bye, guys. It was a pleasure being with you tonight.